Lameness is a sign of pain and inflammation in the cow's hoof, and it's our responsibility to ensure the well-being of animals under our care. Lameness also affects farm profitability, estimated to cost $250 per case or $15,000 a year for the average dairy herd. But perhaps more importantly, there are serious long-term consequences if lameness is not identified and treated promptly. Today, we'll show you our strategy: monitor, manage, minimise. Today I'm with Ross, a dairy farmer in the Waikato. So Ross, why is it important to manage lameness in your herd?
Managing lame cows is very important. We really don't want to see our cows in any pain. It's crucial for the well-being of both our staff and our animals that we pick lameness up on our property. And then it flows through to our bottom line and our financials.
So can it be difficult knowing where to start?
It can be, especially with a large team.
Well, we're here to help. And the first step is monitor, identifying lame cows early. So Ross, how do you identify lame cows on your farm?
We locomotion score cows as they're walking to the cow shed on the race, as well as in the herringbone as they're walking in. This identifies cows early. We refresh ourselves each year using the locomotion scoring video.
Well, basically, the locomotion scoring scale is first 0. This cow is walking evenly, no actions needed. Score 1. This cow is walking unevenly. Well, some cows do. Record her and keep an eye on her. Score 2. This cow is lame, actions required. She should be reported, drafted out and examined within 48 hours. 3. This cow is really lame. She's obviously in a lot of pain. Draft her out as she needs immediate treatment. So if you do have a lame cow, the first thing to do is lift the foot to diagnose the likely cause. Our understanding of lameness is changing. Using this model, we can see what's actually happening inside the hoof. This pink part here, it's called the corium. It's a bit like the quick of your nails, the sensitive part. New hoof grows from this corium at a very slow 5 millimeters per month. Behind that is a digital cushion, that's a protective layer. And then finally, we've got the bones of the hoof, called the pedal bones. 80% of lameness cases are caused by inflammation of the corium, and the damaged area slowly grows down to the hoof surface until you see a visible lesion or hemorrhage on the sole. Most of these injuries start months before you can see them. Once a hole develops, bacteria can enter the hoof, leading to infection. So with inflammation of the corium, you'll see lesions like white line disease, sole ulcers, toe abscesses, or sole hemorrhage. Less often, maybe 20% of cases, there's a straight bacterial infection because of damage to the skin between the toes, such as foot rot or digital dermatitis. So treatment may include antibiotics. So now we've learnt the importance of identifying and treating lameness early and understand what's happening inside the hoof. Lameness is a sign of pain and inflammation in the cow's hoof, and it's our responsibility to ensure the well-being of animals under our care. This includes managing lame cows to recover as soon as possible. In the past, let's face it, most of us tended to just tie up a lame foot and hack away at the lesion, trying to find some pus. Imagine someone doing that to your foot. When you think about it, it's not possible to repair the pedal bone, the digital cushion, or the corium. So the new approach to trimming the hoof is to take the weight off the injured claw and treat the inflammation. Firstly, to reduce the inflammation and pain, give 3 days of Ketamax. Secondly, trim the hoof to reduce the weight on the injured area. There are 5 steps to hoof trimming. 1. Trim the inner claw. Make it 75 millimeters long. Leave 7 millimeters thickness at the tip and spare the heel. 2. Trim the outer claw, same length. Trim the weight-bearing surface to the same level so the claws are even. 3. Scallop out the inside edges of the sole. 4. Trim the sole of the damaged claw towards the heel. That's going to help transfer the weight to the sound claw. And 5. Remove loose horn and trim down any hard edges. Now that we've transferred the weight, the next step is to take even more weight off the damaged hoof. We do that by applying a hoof block to the sound claw. Prevention is always better than cure, so we need to understand how to minimise lameness on your farm. The best way to reduce the incidence of lameness is to reduce pressure on the cows, especially during early lactation. After calving, the hoof's protective fat pad becomes thinner and the ligaments in the hoof relax. This makes the soft inner part of the corium much more susceptible to damage. This is known as the calving effect. Most lameness occurs in early lactation. The calving effect and putting pressure on the cows increases the risk of lameness. So the solution is simple. It's all about reducing pressure on cows. So Ross, how do you do that?
Post-calving, we aim to minimise the time that cows spend on concrete. By having smaller mobs, we have our golds, we have our colostrums, and then a max of 10 rows within our milkers mob. So we're trying to bring those herds in as needed rather than all in one point in time.
And how do you use the backing gate?
We have a little bit of a rule that the backing gate is there to take space up in the yard. It's not there as a bulldozer. Staff know that when the backing gate gets turned on, it's got a bell on it, as well as that they just have to count to 3 in their head before it's turned off.
That's great. And how important is it to maintain the races?
Maintaining races is really important, and it happens on an annual, if not biannual, basis. We do that to maintain the largest surface area that we can for the cows to walk on, so that we can maintain the culture of cows being able to walk freely to the shed. But if they get on a race at the start of the season and they know they can walk to the shed, that's the way that their culture evolves within their mob over the course of the dairy season.
So having good races really reduces the pressure on the cows?
It really does. It reduces the pressure on the cows, it makes life easy for staff, and it just sort of enhances the property at the same point in time.
That's great advice. We also need to remember to play our part. It's important not to push cows, but to let them walk at their own pace. If lameness is left untreated, the inflammation of the corium can lead to growths that develop on the bones of the hoof, and this increases the risk of future lameness. We can see in this model that in a healthy hoof, the pedal bone's really smooth. But if lameness gets left and untreated, then these bony spikes can develop. Imagine walking on feet like that. And the solution? Monitor, manage, minimise. If we don't, the long-term consequences are significant. If you haven't already, make sure you ask your vet for our Monitor, Manage, Minimise Reducing Lameness poster for your shed, or download it at agrihealth.co.nz.